We're back in DayZ on Xbox, and we're doing something that I think has been requested for a fairly long time. This will be a performance test to see just what we're actually getting out of the game. We're going to show off the game just generally kind of running around through the town area, a little bit of the forest, with zombies chasing, and this is on Xbox One X, so it is the, 4K resolution, quote unquote, there, version of the game, just so you get an idea of the platform and play and everything like that. And then after we're done showing off a little bit of this section, we're going to go to the multiplayer and give you an idea of how that part of the game is running. And I say multiplayer as in like the community servers where there's other people. And it's pushed a little bit harder because they're modded servers. But here we just got a run-of-the-mill. This is as of 1.07. I think this is one of the high servers. I definitely aim to pick a high server, so hopefully there's a good quantity of people in here, because obviously that's going to likely be a little bit of an impact more on the game. But you get the gist of, what I was going for in regards to, I want to test out how this is running. And I mean, you won't see it if it didn't work out like how I was hoping it to. So, yeah, I hope this is kind of interesting. So we're going to have some fun kind of surviving and also giving you a little bit of a closer idea. It should be pretty accurate to the actual performance and everything like that. And I hope you enjoy another thrilling day of DayZ. Now, I kind of wanted to do the experimental, but I was like, it's in testing, right? So maybe it's more worthwhile to try that one out when it's actually released, because this is a full version of DayZ, right? This is like testing's been done and everything like that. Oh, I actually am bleeding too. That's not good. The idea wasn't that this character would go right away. I was playing. I spawned with a character I guess I played with in maybe a prior video or something like that. He had all these weapons, but I got spawned in the middle of nowhere. That's what happens when you leave DayZ for a bit. And I thought it was humorous because you can do the Sui move with the shovel, and it just kind of shovel impaling. It was just oh, that was very dark. It's a little darker of a moment than I had anticipated. But I also think this is a really good performance area of the game. Not only in terms of the fact we went through a small little town, but the fact that this is one of the main kind of spawn towns. It's very likely, there might be a person or two in the area. And you're getting the gist of what I'm saying. I'm hoping I can get to a spot to heal up soon, because these zombies are just still. I hated that one update that they added. I think it was a few updates ago where they made it that the zombies are kind of relentless in their pursuit of you now, because they weren't originally like this. They kind of after a while you left their spawn area, they left you alone, but now they actively seek you out for quite a while. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, you can see the saturation on my screen is kind of going by, and I'm not looking so good. And I mean, if people are really interested in this kind of thing, I've always said this, but I've always had a little bit of an interest of pulling out my base Xbox One, the original Xbox One, getting that updated and seeing how DayZ kind of runs on there. So if that's something of interest to you, let me know, and if I get enough about it, I'll think about doing it. It's a pain, you gotta go for a old console and everything. I actually really did a cool comparison recently. I'm assuming some people missed out on that, where I did some cardboard cutouts of the size of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Well, the estimated PlayStation 5, because we don't know the actual size of that one for sure yet. And I did some cardboard arts and crafts, so that was kind of fun. Doing some more little, I guess you could say, little technical tests and stuff on things, which I think are kind of fun. Just, something a little bit different. And for DayZ, it's one I've wanted to do for a while, but there was something else, another little project thing I'm doing where I pulled out the old software I was using to do the testing of the FPS, because I did it back in the day, but I wasn't sure if I quite how it renders and everything like that, but it works fine enough in my opinion in regards to like accuracy and giving you something to kind of get an idea of how a game is performing. Ooh, nice. Like another cut. You gotta be. Did he walk out with me? That zombie literally left that building with me, and I'm gonna have to get somewhere quick because I am like gushing, and I don't want to pass out because that is like one of the most annoying things in DayZ is when your character passes out for a bit and then you can see the light and come back to it. I hope this is kind of giving you an idea though of just kind of what you're dealing with on this platform, maybe even how it's running a little bit better on the One X, because that's the thing I hear a lot from people, is the fact that the One X does have that extra, you know, performance, which is expected. I mean, it's a far more powerful console compared to the base version. You get the gist of what I'm saying. Is like people are like, oh, why is it always running so well for you? And you know, because it's the console platform, right? It's just kind of an expected part of having the more powerful console. And just like with Series X, I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, the impact of the performance on not only DayZ but other games too. And you can bet your ass there'll be a Series X DayZ review. I think I'm still allowed to say that. You know how things are these days on the YouTubes, but yeah, there will be a you know, a review of that, and there'll be one for 1.082 when that releases, as is the tradition on the channel, is a new review with every major stepping stone update within the game, so you get an idea of, you know, kind of how the game is at that point. It's like a re-review of how things have changed. Folks really seem to be into that, so that's why we do it every time, because, you know, there is such a interest with it, which is good. I mean, you know, it's always nice to have something new to do in DayZ, because I am really running out of ideas here in terms of like new content to do and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that guy got the good thing in here, the fact that he's got an SMG. Yeah. So I don't know why I'm looking through here. I wonder if that guy's dealing with that. So I did say, you know, city and then forest. So we're gonna head over here and we're gonna go just a bit, kind of running through the city a bit to see how this is like running and all that. Of course, in this like super desaturated version of the experience, and then we're gonna head out to the left a little. Well, actually, we could keep going straight because that's like an open field area, right? So, are you kidding me? Ooh, that was a drop there, obviously. A drop so intense you can visually see it. Hardcore visually see it. I am just like, this guy he's easy to cut. Although he kind of looks like an old mob boss in terms, like, well, maybe not a mob boss, but like an enforcer for the mob back in the old Mafia days. That's kind of what he looks like with the black and white sort of aesthetic. You know, he's like a part of some mob and things. It's kind of funny. You see, like, you know, those old-timey movies that are all still a classic black and white style? That's what I'm getting at. Oh man, these zombies are absolutely relentless. And that one's on a roof. They can fly. They're just so ambitious these days. Nah, it's not the first time we've seen a zombie on a roof. Just wait till we see them on planes and stuff. A DayZ short video. Zombie on a plane. I guess this is like a good area to kind of show off a little bit more of like the open area, because that you're not going to deal with as much complexity as you are, say, with like the city structure. And then we can have a little bit up into the forest and see how that is, because sometimes there's this one area where it's super laggy. I don't get there very often. It's a spawn point that's like really north of the experience. It's like super high up in a port. Damn, I died. That's not good. Okay, I guess we're getting a new character, but it's like super north. Super north. And yeah, it's kind of like a place where there's these darkened rocks that don't really have textures, and it always seems to have like extreme performance dips in that area for some reason. It just baffles me. This is like what, near Bruzino? Is that where we are? It's kind of a flat area, a little bit of a forest. And I just, like, I hope that, obviously this isn't like a super long thing. It takes forever to render this testing. you have no idea. It takes forever. But I just want to make sure that I'm giving like a good variety of like locations, and I think that's kind of what running through DayZ is. You just see so many different things. Aesthetically, it's kind of all the same, but you know, it is slightly different. And I think with that, it might be a good idea to switch over to you know, the more intense custom servers, like PvP type multiplayer. I'm hoping that there's a server still up that kind of goes over that, because I think that's also an interesting aspect of the game to kind of show off. At least I think so. Okay, so this is going to be a bit more of a test, because I think it's something like 32 players or something, and it's at the airfield. So this is a better, you know, sort of stress test, as to say, of what the game can do. Am I going the wrong way? I think is the airfield in there or out this way? Oh yeah, I think it's over yonder. But yeah, lots of guns, lots of folks. Now I believe that the Zeds are out of the equation on this one, so that should be interesting. Just keep in mind again, this is the game being like modded, pushed with extra weapons, pushed with extra individuals in a tight spot, and it's just an extra stress and not equivalent to normal regular DayZ gameplay. But I thought it was interesting because it is an area of the game where I've noticed that yeah, it's definitely pushed a lot more, especially some of, like, if you ever get a Prison Island one, which I haven't seen in a while, which is disappointing because I quite like those very fast-paced action on Prison Island. But yeah, getting in here, I mean, I can kind of notice it, but we'll have to see what the test actually brings out. Jeez, yeah. Canned tuna, that's what I'm talking about. What are these? Shoes? Weird looking shoes. Kind of a cool full area. I wonder how Livonia runs. That might be an interesting test too to do at some point. Just a sunny day for conflict. Because yeah, that building's not normally here. I like the deathmatch a little bit more too, where they've got like all the little buildings littered out here. It's like a city deathmatch, they call it. Though I think they took it down due to funds and all that. I didn't notice it was up. It's because the servers cost so much. We lose so many of these cool things because server costs are just absolutely wild in this game. So you get the action, even with without the action going on here, you know, it's still kind of like, you can see how it's stressing the console a lot more too, which is interesting. It's all a fascinating little study about the game, and you know, the run and all that. Whoop. Yeah, definitely feeling that pressure here. The pressure of chaos and death.
Yo, hands are up. You can come in here. We won't shoot. Just don't shoot us.
Yeah, our hands are up too.
Guns are on the floor.
Whoa, that was a lie.